Algebra 2, on to lesson 13-2, angles in the unit circle. Okay, so you already created the unit circle yesterday. Make sure you keep that with you. Make sure you're keeping that whole unit circle with you, because we're going to be using it off and on this whole, excuse me, entire chapter. Okay, so the whole entire trig unit, make sure you're keeping that unit circle with you. I've had people in the past, they laminate that thing, because it is something that you're going to use a lot of. So today's stuff is angles in the unit circle. So when you have an angle in your quadrant, okay, so you've got your initial side, and usually that's the side that it starts, okay, across one of the axes. Those are your initial sides. Then you have your terminal side, the ending side, okay, where that angle ends. Now, if you were finding an angle, I would find an angle this way. It always goes counterclockwise. Okay, if we are finding an angle this way, clockwise, you're going to find the negative of that angle. So we're going to take 360 minus 60. So we're actually going to take 60 minus 360 degrees, because we're taking that 60 degrees and we're subtracting it from 360. So that means that this angle here, if I took 60 minus 360, is negative 300. Okay, so I went that way. If I was going this way around, it would just add 360 to it. If you're coming around and you're doing it around twice, you would add 360 to it. So what I mean is, if I was taking this and I was coming around this way, okay, I would take 60 plus 360 to get 420. Okay, but just going where I did, negative 300, because I went backwards. So let's say I want to sketch 125. Now remember, when we did the unit circle yesterday, you get 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. So where would 125 lie? In quadrant 2. So I'm going to do my initial side. I'm just going to do, it's a little bit beyond 120. And then I label it like this, 125. That's all it's to it. When you're doing those, when you're sketching the angles, that's all you need to do. Okay, that's all you need to do. So the next thing you're going to be doing is finding the coterminal. So if their number is positive, it's a positive 575, we're going to subtract 360 degrees from it. Okay, so positive, subtract your 360. So this is going to be 215. So that one's going to be 215 degrees. This one here, because it's negative, to find my coterminal. And what I mean by coterminal, like if you had up here, we have our 45-degree angle. I like using those because those are easiest. Coterminal angle, 135. Another coterminal angle, 225. Another one, 315. Okay? It's everything that relates to those angles. So this one here, all I'm going to do is now add 360 to it, and I get 4 degrees. That's all you have to do when you're finding coterminal. If it's positive, you subtract 360. If it's negative, you add 360. Okay? Next is when you get to problems like number 33. Or actually, sorry, number 24. So I went ahead and just did a ditty of the unit circle real quick again. And they give you negative 240. Well, again, what did I say to do? You're going to add 360 to it. So when I add 360 to it, I get 120 degrees. Because negative 240, if it starts here, it's going to go right here, negative 240. Okay, so I go to my unit circle now. And remember, yesterday I told you your unit circle goes cosine, sine. So they want you to find the exact values of cosine and sine. Exact values are the ones that you put in the ordered pair. So I would write this as negative 1/2 root 3 over 2. Done. That's what they are looking for. So that's where you're going to have to use that unit circle. Last one. On problem 33, they want you to do the same thing, only they want you to put it into the calculator. So we're going to calculate. So you're going to be finding the cosine of negative 95, comma, the sine of negative 95. Okay, so in your calculator, again, make sure most of you guys have these calculators. When you turn it on, very important to go to your mode. Make sure that it is over in degree mode. Okay, so make sure it's in degree mode. Again, I went to mode right there. Make sure that's over in degree mode. So just hit enter, make sure it's selected. And then just quit out of there. So we want cosine. So cosine, here's your negative. Negative 95. Enter. I get negative 0.0, and I'm just going to go out to the nearest thousands, 8/7, comma, we're going to go sine, sine of negative 95. And I get negative 99.996. Okay? So that's what it's looking for on those when they just want the calculator values. You just type them right into your calculator. And then you just give me the 2 decimals. Also, make sure that you are rounding correctly. Okay, make sure you rounded correctly on those. So that's what you're doing today. Okay, it's a pretty easy assignment. Make sure you're watching, especially when it comes to these coterminal angles, that you are adding and subtracting like you're supposed to, but it's very, very simple. And then finding that is pretty easy as well. So there it is, angles in the unit circle.